Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're going to try out Martin Retro acoustic strings. These are acoustic strings, nickel wound, light gauge, which is the 12 on the E. We're going to find out what makes them retro. I'm kind of a retro kind of guy. I don't remember playing nickel wound strings in my lifetime, going back to the early 70s. We'll see what these things are all about. Stay tuned. So I'm just now opening up the package, looking at the string gauges, starting with the first string. This is a 12, a 15, a 25, a 31, a 41, and a 54. All right, we're going to start off here de-stringing my, this is my 1978 Ovation Balladeer. I figure, hey, retro strings, let's put it on the retro guitar. And I got my trusty string crank here. And we'll take these things off here and see what it's like. You know, someday I ought to buy one of those electric screwdriver kind of things that drives this all by itself, but I finally did replace this. I had one that I used for about 30 years that, if you will look at one of my other videos about how to restring a 12 string, I had this old squeaky thing that was kind of ancient. So I did finally replace it. Okay, Ovation guitars are pretty easy to restring, because there's not a pin bridge. It's got this cool slotted bridge at the end. So it makes them pretty easy to get the strings in. All right, so the tension's off of them. So at first glance on these strings, they look a lot like electric guitar strings. That's because they're nickel wound. I'm really curious as to how that's gonna sound on an acoustic. Normally I love the Martin, the traditional Martin, and especially on this guitar, the ones that are gauged, they're a special set. They're the Tommy Emmanuel. So I'm just curious to see how these are going to sound on there. I'm skeptical. Okay, so as I'm putting these on here, these feel very much like, I mean, electric guitar strings, nickel electric guitar strings. Really curious to see what these sound like. Did somebody just, you know, find a way to repurpose nickel and sell them as an acoustic string? And I'm curious to see what the break-in and the longevity is going to be like on these. Maybe they'll turn out to be very, very mellow, which is what I expect them to sound like. All right, let's tune this puppy up here. Now, usually when I try the strings, I'll just kind of seat them just a little bit. I just pull on them just a little bit to give them a little stretch, and then retune one last time. There we go. All right, let's try this out here now. Let's try a little bit of strumming. Get a medium pick, that'll work a little bit better. Well, so first considerations. The basses are not nearly as deep and rich as it is like on a Foster Braun set. Like the ones I usually use are the Martin Tommy Emmanuel set, and the bottom end on those is really, really very rich. This is it's more blended, more focused. But the bass is not very, that's not, usually this guitar really pumps out a lot of bass. it is a focus sound if you were recording or if you were just playing an accompaniment. And that's probably because it's nickel. It seems to be a little more string noise than I'm used to. Let's try a little finger picking. So not bad. So nice balanced sound. As I guess the one way I would describe it is kind of tightly focused. It's the lesser bass makes it kind of overall more balanced. I just don't know that maybe I like the deeper bass more. So what do you think? I will play these for a few days and give us a break-in time, and I'll kind of get back and give you some feedback on them. All right, here's a follow-up. It's been about a week since I put on the strings, those Martin Retros, and here's my evaluation on them. Yuck. I really didn't like them at all. As I said, the first day I put them on there, they seemed to be very tightly focused. By that I meant that they were very narrow in their frequency bandwidth. They really didn't have any super low-end punch, especially for a set that was like a 12, to what I say was a 12 to a 50 or 12 to 48, something like that. It was a pretty heavy-duty, a decent light gauge set, and it just completely lacking in the bass end of things. And I suppose if you're recording, sometimes that can be a good thing because you don't want you'd have to EQ out a lot of the bass and stuff. So, but if you're just sitting there with a guitar in your lap, it sounded kind of thin. They also that nickel wound string, I just couldn't get over that nickel, the feel of it. It just did not have the feel of a good bronze or brass wound string, and they felt kind of gritty under the fingers, and it was more like almost playing like a medium light electric guitar set. D'Addario nickel wounds felt very similar to them, and I don't care for those either. So anyway, just by comparison, just to finish up here, you have to pardon me, I'm playing with a broken thumbnail, don't have much to dig in with. This is a standard, a set of extra light Martins, 11 to 48, I think it is, 11 to 47, 11 to 47. on these are they have I mean they have just as much bass or more than what those retros did, and it's a lighter string gauge, so it's easier on your fingers. So in the end, I was hoping I would kind of like those Martin retros because, like I said, I'm a retro kind of guy. I'm 64 years old, and I like old kind of stuff there. Things that remind me of the old days when I first started playing guitar, but those were kind of just yuck. So I think I would give those maybe at the very best a 2 out of 5, maybe a 1 out of 5. I really didn't like them, and I took them off just very shortly after playing about maybe 4 days on them. And then I put this set on because I just had these around, and these just sound great. And that's just a basic Martin light gauge. All right, so that ends up the story on the Martins. I don't recommend them. If you like them, well, leave a comment. Let me know what you like about them. And other than that, I'll press on and I'll try some new strings here soon and let you know what I think of those too. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good weekend. Bye.